So today we're going to look at the monarchical system of government, and our learning pattern cuts across three objectives: meaning of monarchy, features, merits, and demerits. So monarchy can be defined as the form of government under the rule of a king or a queen, or even an emperor. Now, in some countries, these monarchs are the sole rulers and they have absolute authorities. They can make absolute powers, right? We call them absolute monarchies, absolute monarchs. While those that don't have this power, those that follow the dictates of the constitution, the law of the land, we call them constitutional monarchs, right? So you can still find absolute monarchs in countries like Saudi Arabia, Swaziland, and constitutional monarchs in countries like Spain, Italy, Britain. Take note of this point I just made. So features of your monarchy system of government. It is the government by the king or a queen. And this form of government, number two, is hereditary. That means the king or the queen passes it to the prince or the princess. Now, it is an age-long cultural practice. So it's not what that just began happening yesterday. It's age-long. That means it must have been happening for some time in that country, right? The monarch is the individual representatives and organ of the supreme power. So the monarch is the symbol of supreme power and is the representative of the people everywhere. There is no other government in the land except the king, right? Now, monarchy is an institution and such obedience is natural. So it is very natural to command obedience in a monarchy system because the people believe that all monarchical powers and all powers and authority comes from God. Take note of that. Now, what are the advantages of a monarchy system? It brings about political stability because there is no need for changing government. There is no need for employing different means to change government, whether it is election, and election is rigged and whatsoever. Once the king dies, it's either the prince or the princess gets to power. So it's peaceful. It's straightforward. So political stability is ensured. It can easily be adapted for emergency situation, right? So it's very important we note that. Number three, national loyalty is encouraged because obedience to monarch is seen as obedience to God. Now, it is argued that all powers come from God. So some people believe that it's very important to obey our king, that when we obey our king, we're basically obeying God that allowed them oversee our affairs, right? Now, it's a historical and spiritual figure, and is also seen as the custodian of the customs and traditions of the people. So monarchs are historical figures. They are seen as custodians of the culture of the land. People give them reverence. People revere them because they believe that kings have been there. They protect the custom and the culture of the place in which they rule or govern, right? Now, what are the demerits of monarchy? They do not accept the principle of popular sovereignty. It's not going to work in this kind of place because all power rests with the king or the queen. A monarch could be a despot. And let's don't forget that good intentions like our hereditary ability cannot be acquired just like that, right? So it's very important to study a bit. So they do not, a monarch could not be a despot as such. Good intentions are not hereditary. You don't inherit good intentions, right? So a father can be a fantastic king and he steps down from the throne and gives the son the power to reign, and the son messes everything up. So that's the point that he's trying to make there. Competent citizens who are not happy, who are not of the royalty, may be left out of governments, right? So these are the same issues we're talking about in the demerits of monarchy. So if you're a fantastic economician and you are not close to the king's family, they may not pick you. They may pick somebody who is just out there, who has what it takes, and then the person goes and do what he or she can do, right? So these are some of the points we need to note in the demerits of monarchy, right? So if you have any questions, send me in the comment section. Meanwhile, we looked at the meaning of monarchy. We saw its features. We saw its merits and demerits, right? So I'm expecting us to take a look at this topic in view of the answers given.